time if you're listening. Oh, so much good stuff going on today, guys. I'm really glad to be here with you. A little different day. We have a different producer today. Aday is here filling in for Christy. So welcome, Aday, and thank you for stepping up to the plate. It's always fun to have a little switch up here and there. So we'll welcome Aday and thank him for being with us this whole Wednesday. Oh, where do we start? Well, let's start with the chat room. We are over in the chat room. You can find it by heading over to 12radio.com. Click on the chat button. You'll be redirected into the Facebook chat, and Aday is standing by, and he'll gladly allow you into the room if you just request to join. You'll find my banner at the top of the page. That's where people are chatting. That's the place to ask a question, leave a comment if you're hoping that I will see it. I am also doing this event via Facebook Live through the chat room, and so if you'd rather watch it, you can definitely do that there. You do have to turn down your speakers or turn off your speakers for the radio stream because they're on a little bit different timing. So you kind of have to do one or the other. I do want you to know as well, though, that you can find the live stream. I always upload it to my YouTube channel, which is Domestic Mystic on YouTube, later in the day. So you can find it over there later if you'd like to watch it then. That's useful if you're listening to an archive or a replay or just wanted to make sure you didn't miss something. So that's how you do all of that. Now, we will have some time today for some readings. So if you would like a reading, a healing, some help from me, definitely put it up in the chat room. That would be the place to ask for that. You might have noticed I have a brand new banner. I'm so excited about it. So it was high time. I've talked before about how very little I like to change things. I'm a Cancerian at heart. We don't do things differently. We do them the same. And so here we are doing the same thing, right? Same banner, guys, for 5 years. 5 years. You know, I kind of let it go. I always forget, but September marked my 6-year anniversary here at Listen and on radio. So pretty fun stuff. 5 year, 6 year. So I've been here forever, it feels like. 6 good years, 6 great years. But at any rate, I realized that, you know, perhaps it's time for a new banner. And so I enlisted the help of a brilliant friend that does these things so well, Miss Kelly McLean, and she made me a beautiful banner. So thank you, Kelly. I'm glad to have it. I'm excited. I'm actually working on all new media for myself. So a new video over at 12 Listen, new audio over at 12 Listen, some new commercials. Definitely trying to drag out all of the creative stops. So we'll see how that works. I don't know about you guys, but creativity goes for me in starts and stops. So it starts out strong sometimes and then gets really weird. So I'm hoping that I can stick with that creative vibe so that I can get all of this stuff done this week that I want to. But it is spud harvest. And what does that mean? Nothing to people who aren't Idaho girls, I'm sure. But here it means that potato harvest is in full swing. You've all heard of the Idaho potato, of course, and it's spud harvest currently. So they close our schools for a week or two, or 10 days as it is here in our district. And so my kids are home. So no school for them. I mean, the idea is that, you know, they'd be working in spud harvest, but they're not. I'm kind of iffy on it, to be honest. They could have worked. They both could have gone to work. And they make great money, and they work their tails off for, you know, a week or two. It's dangerous work. It is yucky work. It is, I don't know. I just don't want them out there very bad. So they're not working. Well, they are. Because they're home and they think that I'm killing them because I have all kinds of decorating and housework and things I want to do for fall. And so I guess they are working, but not gamefully like they were if they were, you know, in a potato cellar. But what do you do? Anyway, that's what's going on around here this week. So a few things I do want to talk about. First of all, you probably already heard this, but I'll make a little public service announcement anyway. The word on the street is that at 12:18 my time, Mountain Time, so that'll be just 25 minutes after the end of this show, there is supposed to be some kind of a presidential alert system test on your cell phone. So the word is that every cell phone across the land here in the United States will receive a text at the same time. It's like the alert system that they used in Hawaii when they accidentally scared the crap out of a whole bunch of people. Kind of like that. I don't know if it'll be like a tweet. I'm kidding. I'm not sure what it will look like, but don't be alarmed when you get it. It's just a test, but that is supposed to be happening today. So just FYI. Also, we are on sale today over at 12 Listen. So I would love to talk to you if there's anything I can help you with. If you need a reading or a healing, some animal communication, some past life work, you need to dive deep into something, some mentoring, you tell me. It's always your time, but I would love to work with you. And I'll be there all day when the show gets over until evening time, bedtime, well beyond probably. Depends on the day for me, but I'll be there. So I'll be there for you if you need me. Something very exciting is happening today in Christy's world, and I wanted to be sure that I mentioned it. She is in Washington, D.C. currently. That's why we have a day filling in today. But she has pre-launched her book, and it's very exciting. So it's fun because we all here in the 1-2 world get a sneak peek into it. We get to be the first people to purchase the pre-launch, to buy our copy and be ready. It will be released in December, but you can get the pre-launch copy now. If you buy it now, it helps her a little bit because that helps to boost up her numbers, which is pretty cool. So if you're wondering why the pre-launch, well, it's because it's good for the author. So, Christy's been so good for all of us. So it's kind of fun to be able to support her right now. So I'm putting a link in my chat room. It's 99 cents. I know, big spender, right? 99 cents. But if you guys are interested, if you want to support her in that endeavor, please run over there and pre-order the book. That would be an amazing thing to do. So pretty cool, very exciting. So congrats, Christy. We're so excited. Can't wait to see it in completion. I happen to know the book itself is actually done. It's in editing right now, but she has put her final stamp on it as far as the first round, now editing. But anyway, lots of good stuff. So those are the things, those are the things that are going on. We're going to talk a little bit today about this time of year, about pulling out the inner witchy warlockies in you. I know they're in there because it's in me too. I have some stories and some things to share, but first, why don't we take a look at the magazine? So you guys know I put out a magazine at the beginning of every week, and it is a compilation of work from me and a bunch of my super talented colleagues over at 12listen.com. So I'm always excited at the first of the month because I get to design a new cover. And the covers to me, well, they say everything, right? So I really wanted to do a Halloween-y kind of cover that was cool. And I think we rocked it. I'm excited. So see what you think of the cover. It's a crow, or a raven, as you guys know. They are very meaningful for me. And it has this cool blue eye, and I just think it's the coolest thing. I couldn't quit talking about how cool I thought the cover was until my family had had enough of me. I made them take a look and agree that it's cool as hell. That's what living with me is like. Sorry, guys. Well, let's take a look. So you guys that were here with me last week know that last week's show was about writing your memoirs, writing your stories, the why, some of the how, and I hope I got you guys inspired. But I thought about that and I realized I want to start writing some memoirs that I will just share in the magazine. So I've started a new column. It's called My Memoirs, mostly for me, sometimes for you. Because isn't that what memoirs really are? They're for us. They're for our recollection. They're for our connection. They're for us. But they're for you too, because you never know when something that you have to say, when one of your stories will have a positive impact on somebody else. So that's why I called it that. My Memoirs, mostly for me, sometimes for you. And I did start those columns this week. I also want to let you know that tomorrow on the Psychic Sisters, I have a special guest host. Since Christy's out of town, Rhonda will still be with me, of course, but we are welcoming Kelly McLean. And it's really fun. Kelly and I have been talking about this for a week, about how to do it, how to make it really fun, really interesting. It's the marching orders show for October. And anyone who listens to the Psychic Sisters knows that what marching orders is all about is giving you a peek into some things you need to know and perhaps some things you need to do per your sign for the month. So, Rhonda's going to pull a card. Kelly is bringing us bitch scopes and giving us a suggestion for a witch's brew. Think cocktails. And I am going to give you all a spell. So we're getting very witchy. We're bringing our witchiest hats tomorrow to the Psychic Sisters, and I hope you guys can join us. It will be a fun show. You know, anytime Kelly's on the show, it's a fun show. So that will be awesome. Now, I'm calling the magazine this week Boundless Beauty. A little birdie told me that as Venus goes retrograde. Now remember, I'm not a astrologer. I couldn't even say the word. I'm not an astrologer at all. I just work with some brilliant ones, right? So little birdie told me that when Venus goes retrograde at the end of this week, that it's going to make us all feel fugly. What? I don't know. That's what I heard. So we're celebrating beauty. We're looking for beauty. We're not even going to address fugly. We're not going there. It's all about beauty in you, inside and outside. It's about beauty in your life. It's about beauty around you and recognizing it and being brave enough to see it and refusing to listen to the ugly voices because we're not going there. Okay. Well, the first memoir that I wrote this week, I'll just tell you, you guys can read it. But it's a story about learning how to hold my own with bullies and with people that were older than me in my first job. I was thinking about that yesterday and about how tough I had to get working in kind of a toxic environment with older people that were miserable and mean. And I had to learn how to stand up for myself, as well I did. So I hope that you read that if that speaks to your soul. And then, of course, the Domestic Mystics Daily Dish. This is the daily reading that I write for you guys. I publish it over on my Instagram, which is Domestic Mystic, and here on Facebook on my fan page, Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. But I'll give you guys a peek into it. We'll skip Monday and Tuesday since we've already done them. Wednesday, you have the world in the palm of your hand today. This is an excellent day for manifesting what you want. Your light shines so brightly that others cannot help but take a second look. Thursday, this is a great day to celebrate life. Spend some time around people who make you happy and consider doing a few things that spread joy for others. After all, you have everything you need. Friday, there is some good movement today on goals. You may get some good news at work or even some good news financially. This is a great day to inquire about a new job or a raise as well. Saturday, some time outside will be crucial today. Nurture your connection to the earth in order to get grounded and centered. Whether you take a hike or take a drive with the windows down, be sure to get some fresh air today. And Sunday, you are so positive today that nothing could wipe that smile away. Your world feels like it is in balance, and you couldn't be happier about it. Be sure to spread that light around, as others in your circle could use some of your fairy dust. Really good stuff this week. You know, sometimes I do the Domestic Mystics Daily Dish, and I shudder a little at what the week looks like, but this wasn't one of them. There's a lot of magic, there's a lot of joy in it, and I hope that you all get a good taste of it. Okay, my October reading special is my autumn equinox video reading. I'll pull 3 cards from the Raven Oracle, and actually the ones I've done so far, oh, it doesn't say 3 cards, I made that up. I will pull cards from the Raven Oracle. Someone can't read their own work. I'll pull cards from the Raven Oracle to give you an overview of the next 3 months. I will also give you some suggestions as to crystals and candles that you can use, or some ritual of some sort each month to help you along your path. It's a great reading. The ones I've done so far have turned out really nicely. So I'm going to put a link in the chat room for you. But if you have not invested in that so far, you just might want to do that. Jan wants to know, if one was already feeling fugly, will Venus retro cancel it out by chance? Yes, I'm going to make that assumption. Yes, Jan. And Jan, if you're feeling fugly, I will beat that right out of you, okay? I don't think you are. I think that was snarky, and I thought it was funny. Retro's having an opposite effect on you if you're already feeling that way. I kind of like that. It's a great theory. Our astrologers are shuddering right now. What can we do? Alrighty. Christy brings us our crystal guidance, of course. And our crystal guidance this week is the garnet, grounding and energizing. Carry or wear garnet to increase your physical energy and your sense of stability. And garnets, I'm showing you one here in the Facebook Live. This is an almondine garnet. Garnets are not hard to get. They are not expensive. You can get a nice chunk of garnet for 15, 20 bucks, or littler garnets for a few dollars. I mean, garnets are not expensive, and they're such a powerful stone. So I do hope that you, if you don't have a garnet, that you invest in one. Great grounding stone. But again, a great one to increase physical energy. Good Lord, who couldn't use some of that, right? Me, I need to just start wearing garnets in my ears, around my neck, on my wrists, ankles, little in the bra. Yeah. Can you overdo garnets? Oh, I think not. Okay. Every week, Christy brings us a card from her Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. And the card this week is the Owl. The Owl brings us knowledge, wisdom, and discernment. The challenge is deception, ignorance, unwilling to learn from mistakes. Seems like this is something that our country as a whole could use right now, that wisdom of the owl. The crystal is petrified wood, and the meditation is, Dear Owl, please guide me in discerning truth. Help me to be open to truth and willing to learn. I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, and then Kai's kaleidoscope this week, is her animal guidance for the month, and it happens to be deer, which I thought was so perfect for October. And the things that she had to say about deer and the gentle energy of deer was so suitable, perfect. There we go. We'll get away from that word. Perfect for us this month. So Kai, thank you so much for that. And then, of course, we have Kelly brings us bitch scopes this month. And I have to tell you, I thought that her bitch scopes for October were so good. I sat and read through all of them 2 nights ago and thought, wow, she really, really nailed it this month. But she's going to bring them to us tomorrow, too, on the Psychic Sisters. So one way or another. Now, the tip this week. This is a tip we've had before. This is the broom. The witch's broom. The besom broom. Why do you see people hanging a broom on their door? Have you seen that? Sometimes you'll see brooms as some kind of a decor, like a fall decor in stores. Why? Well, you hang a besom broom on your door with the bristles up, and that is to whisk away any negative energy as people enter your home. That's the point of the broom. So you can purchase one, you can make one, but that's why you hang a broom on your door this time of year. So I hope that you do. I made my broom. I had an old broom that was pretty beat up, and I decided, I think I want to have a new one. I want to make one. So Scott took me a few nights ago, and we went out and cut willows, and I came home and made my broom, and I will tell you, everyone's making fun of me around here. Scott said yesterday, could we sit together and refashion this broom so that it looks better? And I said, no, I love it. It's mine. I made it. It's staying. Everyone's like, why are those sticks tied together on the front door? Because it's a broom, damn it. Well, they don't know what a broom looks like because they don't do the housework. Ha! Just kidding. Someone's really sassy today. Anyway, the broom. So after I made the broom, I sat it next to the front door and shut the door. And then I came back a few minutes later, opened the front door, and no kidding, there were 3 neighbor cats on my front step hanging out with my broom. No kidding. Is that the coolest? And not all even cats from the same house. They weren't. One of the cats lives right across the street. 2 of them live a few doors down, but they were all together on the front steps checking out my broom. You know it's magical. I was so excited. And again, my family couldn't believe. They couldn't understand why I was that excited. Well, duh. I put my witch's broom out, and some little familiars came over to bless it and check it out and work with it. So pretty cool. So I do hope that you buy or make a broom and hang it on your door. And if you make one, show me a picture. I'd love to see it. I should have taken a picture of mine and I didn't, but I will. Okay. The next article this week is Brittany's Divinity, and her article is about simplifying. Simplifying. It's a good thought, a really good thought. And I loved what she had to say about finding ways to simplify your life. And then, of course, our article from Elisa. This is Dr. Elisa Robin. And her, by the way, she has a special show that's starting the first Friday of the month, starting this week, over on Fridays, last show of the day. So be sure that you join her for that. That's kind of fun that she's bringing another little extra bite to us. And I believe it's about creativity. So pretty cool. Anyway, her article this week is about creativity. Well, duh. Okay. I should wake up and come to the party. Her header is, we are all committed to what we create. What are you committed to? Is it serving or harming you? Whew. We do reap what we sow. And it's a good thought, good food for thought. Our Magic Monday message from Melissa Caprio, who, by the way, has a huge announcement on her show today, later on today, here on 1-2 Radio. So I hope that you do hang out for her show to see what she's got cooking. I know it's big. But her message this week is a postcard that is where dreams become reality. And then, of course, Anita brings us our Anita and the Masters. She brings us St. Francis of Assisi, known as the patron saint of animals. Why? Because he is celebrated on October 4th. So be sure that you read that and think about the patron saint of animals tomorrow. All right, well, that's the magazine. So I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you find some gems in there that help you out. And if there's ever any comments or anything that you want to tell me about that, I would love to hear it. So there you go. All righty. Well, guys, let's move on. Just taking a little look. Oh, Jan said Mark is the first one to say that they are what you make them. So I'm going with it. All right, we'll take it. A day says, 1-2 Radio, we beat the fugly out of you. We do, man. It's just what we do around here. We can't help it. Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, let's do our reading for the week. And this, oh, wait. No, yeah. Let's do that. I'm having a fight with myself. Okay. This is, of course, from the Ground Blessed Protected Move deck. This is my deck. And if you want more information about it, just go over to katie-weaver.com and check it out. So it's a 5-card spread, gives us an idea of spiritual self-care for the week. So we'll start with ground. So the ground card this week is draw. Did you know that drawing is grounding? Think about being a kid in school who always had to doodle, always had to be tapping, always had to be doing something with your pen or your pencil, right? Or the people around you who did, maybe it wasn't you, but that's because it's grounding. So as you're sitting in school and you're getting bored and your spirit's starting, threatening to float away with you, what do? You do something that grounds you to stay present. And hopefully your teacher doesn't disallow that, because if they do, they don't know. This is grounding. Well, and as an adult, it is still grounding. Draw, doodle, color. Adult coloring books are really fun for this. But to this week for grounding, draw. Pen to paper in some way, or crayon to paper. You decide. All right, because working with your hands is inherently grounding to your spirit. Our bless card this week is the third eye. So how do you bless the third eye? Well, put your hands on it. The most powerful blessing you can get is the one you give yourself. Nobody knows your spirit better than you know your spirit. And when you give yourself permission to be powerful enough to bless yourself, you're doing something huge. So put your hands over your third eye and think about, what is it that you'd like to bless your third eye with? Perhaps let's do one. Okay. So today I bless my third eye with balance, with clarity. I bless it to be open and clearly connected to my guides and to those of others, that I may be in the very best service to them. So that might be a kind of blessing I would give my third eye. You can consider how you would bless your own, and then sit with it for a minute in blessing, right? And then anoint it. One drop of an essential oil right across the third eye. I always like to anoint blessings with an oil. I just think it makes them that much more powerful. So what do you use on your third eye? Well, you decide. I like lavender on the third eye. Some people like frankincense actually on the third eye, which is fine too. You decide. Some people use sandalwood. Some people like chamomile. Some people. Essential oils are pretty subjective to chakras, so you use the one that feels right for you. Don't use something that could burn your eyes or make you unhappy, however. And one drop will suffice. Alrighty. So that's how you do it. So that's the bless card this week. Third eye. All right. The protect card is the cloak. I love this one. The cloak is such an easy way to add some spiritual protection. This is my favorite for when I'm going to a place that I know that the energy is particularly harsh. Like the grocery store. Or like Walmart. I always say this about Walmart. I know it's very rude, but I'll help you understand why. Walmart is the only big box store in my town. I end up going there way more than I want to. I would like to never give Walmart my money, to be honest. I don't like their politics. I think they could treat their employees much better, but sometimes that's just the only option I have when you need dog food at 10 p.m., right? Whatever. But going in Walmart is a trick for me. Actually, any big box store is. Energetically, big box stores and hardware stores. Oh my God. Lowe's, Home Depot. Scott could go in Lowe's or Home Depot and wander for 2 hours and be the happiest man in the world. I'm in there for 10 minutes and I'm asking for the keys because I cannot handle the energy in there. I'm not sure why. If it's just so much stuff. Sometimes it's the people. I think sometimes it's the fluorescent lighting. Sometimes I think it's the chemicals that are just emanating from so much stuff in there. Maybe it's just a combination of all of those things. But anyway, or the state fair. That's the other one that kills me. So, the cloak. Right? Because we don't have to be victims to the energy around us. We have tools. So here we go. All right. So that's why I like the cloak. So think Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, or wrapping yourself in your own wizard's cloak or your witch's cloak, or whatever works for you personally. But wrapping yourself over your head, around your body, in a protective energy, in the fabric of protection, to just block away anything that you don't want near you, and to help you to be a little more invisible. Because sometimes when you go into big places as an empath, hi Aubrey, you want to be a little more invisible sometimes, right? Sometimes as an empath, You just don't need to or want to be seen. And that's fine. That's good, actually, to know that about yourself. So I like the cloak for that. Okay. And then the move card this week is swim. This is my favorite move card by far. So, and I've said it lots of times, but I'll say it again. The reason that there are move cards in a spiritual care deck is because moving your body helps to release pent-up energy, but it also really, really helps to boost up the happy hormones in your brain. So if you're taking great care of your spirit, move yourself a little bit. This does not mean you have to run a 5K. It doesn't mean that you have to swim 10 miles. All it means is that you need to move yourself a little bit. Maybe you just take a walk around the block or a walk around your office on your lunch hour. You know, I've said this many times, but just turn up the music in the living room and dance with your cat. You might get scratched, but you're going to have a good workout. Okay, well, anyway, that is the move card. And then the boost card this week is daydream. And I think it's interesting because last week, I believe the boost card was daydream as well. So daydream or dream all day. You need a break to rest and rejuvenate. Your mind, body, and spirit need a jammy day. When was the last time you allowed yourself to daydream? We're always so busy and we always have so much technology in our faces. Do you just lay on your bed and allow your thoughts to wander? Do you just go hang out in the backyard or sit in your favorite chair and just allow your thoughts to go? This isn't meditation. This isn't really anything. It's just allowing your thoughts to wander. I love the daydream. I love the daydream of allowing my thoughts to go somewhere and then allowing myself to build a narrative from it. That's a daydream. So daydream this week. You might have to unplug. You might have to turn everything else off. But you know what? It's good for you. It's good for your imagination. It's good for your spirit. And it's a great way to help boost spiritual self-care. So that's the reading this week. And again, if you want more information about my cards, just head over to katie-weaver.com and it's all right there. All right, quick look in the chat room and then we'll do some work this week. We're going to do some drumming. Okay, cool. Oh, wow. So Kevin made a selenite and black tourmaline dangly charm. Dangly charm, that's a scientific word. Spirit word, actually. The twine is drenched in sage and dragon's blood powder. I made a mini version plus some smoky quartz and taped it to my ankle. Slept so much better. That's awesome, Kevin. Very cool. And yeah, the combo of selenite and black tourmaline, you're going to have some big work there. Very cool. Thanks for sharing. And I love incorporating the plant magic into that too, with the sage and the dragon's blood. Very cool. Jan said she could also wander around Home Depot and Lowe's for hours. She says, creativity flows when I'm there. See, I feel like that at Michael's, but I get in Home. That's how Scott is with Home Depot too. And I'm also in Home Depot. I will grab the first thing I see. You know, if I need this, I will grab the first one off the shelf and I'm out of there. Scott has to read like everything. He has to think about it. He probably has to get on the internet for a minute and look for a second opinion. He has to research the hell out of it. And me? No, I'll grab it. Hopefully it's the cheapest one and I'm out. I'm a terrible Home Depot partner. But Eva says, I agree with you on Walmart energy. I only go there if I really, really have to. I know. You know what I did this week? I ordered my groceries online. I felt so brilliant. I actually think this is pretty brilliant because when you get in the store, and especially as empaths, you guys all know what I mean. You get in the store and your head starts to swim and, you know, how often do you get out of there with what you came in for? Or if you're in there with kids, of course, then, you know, then you're ruined from the beginning. But at any rate, I had said to my family, I am so tired of cooking meat and potatoes. What else do you people want? So they had all texted me a list of things they wanted to have on our menu the next couple of weeks, which I don't always do a menu, but again, I'm so sick of us and what we're cooking that we needed to do something else. So there, I have all these texts flooding in from them about stuff they want, which was awesome, actually. It gave me a lot of good ideas. But I'm looking at all of this going, how the hell am I going to write a list, go to the store, get everything we need, and come home with this? You know, it's doable. Yes, I know. But I realized, what if I bought our groceries online? Because then I can just go to walmart.com and, you know, you go to their grocery site, and then I could go recipe by recipe, add the things to the cart I need, and boom, we're done. It's what I did. It turned out really smart, and I loved it. So I've done that before, but I haven't done it in a while and not with the menu. So I know. What's metaphysical about that? Nothing. But I am a huge fan of maximizing time and effort and of being able to do the things you want to do. So there's a little tip, I guess. Okay. I will say I did that last winter when the flu was really bad around here and I was protecting my health and I didn't go out of the house much at all. I did my groceries online and dang, that's slick. Loved it. Okay. Here we go. Rather than do singing bowls this week, I decided to do some drumming. We haven't drummed in a while. So I'm going to play a drum for you today. This is a little deerskin. It's a deer hide drum. It's one of my favorites. It's kind of cool. If you're in the live, you can see it's all one piece. It's hollowed out, which just makes the sound a little bit different. And there's no break in the drum, so it's kind of cool. But anyway, this is a special drum to me because my dad bought it for me not too long before he died, the summer before he died, and I just love it. So I'm going to play it today for you for a purpose. Now, you guys have drummed with me before, some of you, but if you haven't, you know that when the drum starts, sometimes your first instinct is flight, right? You want to fly away. It feels like an assault that you have to get away from. Oh, Kai said it's International Drum Month. Well, how cool is that? I should make a new drum. Thanks, Kai. Okay. So, when I start drumming, if you feel like you really have to turn this off or run away, try to stay with me. Take a few deep breaths, settle into it, and allow it to permeate your spirit. We're drumming today with the intention of releasing anything from your spirit that you're carrying that's no longer serving you. Well, anything. If it's just some stickiness from somebody else, some psychic debris. There's been a lot of hard feelings and stuff going on here in the U.S. this last week. I would like to help set you all free from it so that you can be in your very best light. So that's the intention behind it. You may also discover that if you can sit with the tone and the sound of the drum long enough, you sometimes start to hear some things coming out of the drum. Sometimes it sounds like chanting or like voices, like singing, maybe like an animal. But pay attention to that. It's an interesting phenomenon, but people hear spirit emerging from the drum in different ways. So I'll hold the drum like this. And the reason why is because I'm going to hold it so that the vibration as I pound it is coming through the drum to you through the speakers. This is how drum therapy works, or you know, how this kind of drumming works, medicine drumming works. So we send the vibration to you. If you were in person and you were my client, I would be holding the back of the drum to you as I pounded on it so that you were receiving the entire vibration. So I'm going to ask you to take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, relax with me, and sit with me and the vibration of the singing bowl, the singing drum, for a few minutes here, and just allow the vibration of this drum to move through you, dissolving and removing anything you're carrying that's no longer serving you, any energy of psychic debris, and anything that could be dampening your light. Let's just let it go now. Good. All right, so let's just sit with that for a minute and allow it to settle. A few more deep breaths. Let's just ground into that energy. Good. Good. Okay. So hopefully I can leave you today feeling a little lighter, a little newer, and like you've released some things that really don't need to be with you any longer. Okay. So there you go. All righty. Pamela said she's kind of immobile right now, so she's ordering everything online. Oh, solidarity, Pamela. I do a lot of that too. And Raven shared a picture of her besom broom. Oh, Raven, that is really cool. I love it. Did she make it? Jan asked her. No, she found it in a secondhand shop. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Okay. Jan said, a good witch utilizes all tools available, muggle and metaphysical. Online shopping rocks. Correct. Love it. Okay. Oh, Laura said, thank you for explaining about drumming. I couldn't understand why it was so difficult for me to sit with it. Oh, yeah. It brings out fight or flight. I've had that experience before. Or with percussion therapy. Have you guys ever had percussion therapy? It's kind of like massage. Well, some massage therapists use it, but I had a massage therapist one time at a festival of all places, and I was really tied up in my back and shoulders. And he started percussion therapy on my back. And I'm not kidding. It was all I could do to force myself to stay in that chair. I wanted to run, assault that guy, something. I couldn't handle it. And he told me, he said, stay with it. He said, I can feel you tensing. I know you want to run. Stay with it. And it took like 5 minutes of percussion on my back. And all of a sudden, just everything back there let go. All of those muscles that were just balled up like this just let go. It was incredible. But I understand that fight or flight very well. From getting tattoos as well, obviously. Ade said, hearing chatting, voices singing from the drum is an interesting phenomena. The first time I heard it, I thought I was losing my mind. Yeah. Yep. I know. It's wild. It's pretty cool. Okay. Raven said she heard flute music the first time she attended a drumming circle. I know. It's wild, huh? I love it. By the way, if you guys don't have a drum, it's such an awesome tool to have in your toolkit. You know, drumming has been used in so many cultures worldwide for time immemorial, in religious ceremonies, in spiritual ceremonies. It's an incredible tool and gift. It's really the first music, right? Besides the voice. So definitely, if you don't have a drum, you know, Christmas is coming. Think about asking for one or doing that for yourself. You can buy drum kits online and make your own drum too. It's not that hard, especially if you buy a kit that your leather's all cut and it's all already owled out for you. Or you can also you don't have to buy leather drums either. If you do not want a leather drum, you can buy synthetic head medicine drums. But the key is you want a drum that's either called a buffalo drum or a medicine drum. That's the kind of drum that's like this, that's open in the back. And that's what you want for using drumming for energy work. But you can use your drum to break up energy in your house. You can use it around your plants. You can use it to, to scare the boogeyman out from under the bed. You can use it to build your own energy. And you can use it in meditation. One of the things I love with drumming is if you are meditating on or doing energy work on someone else's behalf. Perhaps you have a friend that's going into surgery today and you are doing something on her behalf. Consider sitting in meditation and picturing her, and maybe picturing standing in that surgical suite in the corner with your drum. Bum, 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 or whatever you feel that is correct, as far as the beat is concerned. But using drumming to drum for on someone's behalf is a really powerful way to send a blessing to them. So lots of cool things to do. So we used to, when I had my center still, for a long time on Tuesday afternoons, we had a donation period of the day where people could just pay us what they could for sessions. And we ended up with, for quite a while, a whole bunch of moms with ADD little boys. So all these little boys that were like grade school age-ish, that were struggling with, unable to sit and listen, getting in trouble at school, and, moms at their wits' end, and bringing these little boys in to help us to help them to decipher what they needed and how to help them the best. And we would drum on them. And so Christy and I used to laugh so hard at the spectacle of, you'd get one kid on the table and you'd drum on him for 10 or 15 minutes and off he'd go. And in would come the next one, and we'd do that for, an hour in the afternoons, all of these little boys. But it helps them so much. It helps ground their energy. And so then, of course, moms were buying drums to use at home, which is huge. But I also have had several teachers over the years as clients who understood the need for drumming and for grounding the energy in their classrooms. So imagine walking through your classroom while kids are taking a test or a quiz with your drum, with a quiet beat going, helping them to keep their energy grounded. It's pretty awesome. So Jan said she loves drumming because it brings out her warrior energy. Yeah, amen to that. I love that, Jan. Raven says drumming is said to be the brain in altered states. Yeah. And Maureen said that they do monthly drumming with their oncology patients. How cool is that? That's amazing, Maureen. I love that you guys do that. Well, this show wasn't meant to be all about drumming, but I guess that's where we went. I'm not in charge. Every week on 1-2 News, when we announce what the shows are about this week, I never have an answer because I don't know until we get closer to time. It's usually just whatever spirit tells me to do. I try to do what I'm told, believe it or not. I know Scott will argue, but I do. And I don't know. But today I did have a plan, and I am going to go there a little bit. But I wanted to talk a little bit about how to draw your inner witch out starting now. It's October. We're in the middle now, or not the middle, but we've entered into the autumnal equinox. We are in such magical times. So I guess drumming really fits because that fits to me in that realm of magic, right? So some other thoughts that I had. One is always going to be essential oils because that's always a place I go. So I wanted to share with you guys what's going in my diffuser these days. I have a fall blend I've been putting together that has clove oil. I'm mixing oils too. I'm a free spirit this way. So I have some clove oil. I have some nutmeg oil, one of my all-time favorites. I have some cinnamon bark, and I have some orange. So I've been putting those 4 in my diffuser. So you go obviously very light on the cinnamon, like 2 drops. You can go a little heavier on the orange. I usually do 5 or 6 drops of that, and then 1 or 2 drops of the other spices, and it smells like fall at my house. I've been doing it for days, and yesterday one of my girls actually requested it. What have you been putting in the diffuser? It needs to smell like that in here. I love it. So we put it in again. But I just wanted to share that as a suggestion of things to put in your diffuser if you are into such things, which I know a lot of you guys are. But I love to smell fall. I also had some vanilla absolute that I was putting in there, but someone's kid came home from college for the weekend and wanted to make his signature German pancakes for breakfast. We were out of vanilla. He was so disappointed that I let him use my vanilla absolute. So I'll have to buy some more. Yeah, my son was home over the weekend. It was so nice to see him. And it's kind of fun. He comes home and wants to do things that, are meaningful. So he used to always make breakfast on Sunday mornings, make German pancakes. So he had to get up and make German pancakes. Pretty fun. Alrighty. So that's one thing. Your besom broom is another. Of course, carving. Carving pumpkins. Way back in the day in England, when they started these practices, they weren't always carving pumpkins. They were carving turnips. I can't imagine doing that, by the way. Have you ever tried to cut a turnip? I don't know what they were using, or they were a whole lot stronger than me, but cutting gourds, cutting other squashes, and pumpkins, of course, into scary faces to scare away the spirits, the ghouls. That was the point. So carving things, of course, is a witchy thing to do, but so is taking care of the earth. This is a really good time to nurture your yard, your favorite walking path, nature trails, parks, anywhere that you frequent or drive past that you've noticed could use a little of your nurturing. Maybe you take an afternoon and gather up some trash. Maybe you pull some weeds. Maybe you do a little cleanup. But it's an entirely witchy thing to do, to connect with and take care of the energy of the earth. And taking care of the earth herself, of course. But it's also, in my opinion, a very witchy thing to do, to harvest from the earth. This is a great time to harvest rose hips. So if you do that, make sure that where you're getting them, they haven't been sprayed. So you don't want rose hips that are contaminated, right? You want rose hips that are organic. So I like to do this from the mountains or other local places that I know haven't been sprayed with anything. But this would be the time, because you've probably had a good frost by now or are close to it. So going to cut rose hips or other herbs, you know, this is a great time to wrap up the herbs in your own gardens. Or if you go to other places and cut grasses or herbs, now's the time. Time to dry them, to hang them, to put them in jars, whatever you do with them. I only bring up rose hips because that's what I'm in the process of doing. And I use rose hips in tea with hibiscus for my blood pressure, but I also use rose hips in other teas throughout the winter to help people stay healthy around here. So those are a few suggestions of witchiness that you might want to participate in. But of course, also come and see us tomorrow on the Psychic Sisters. Remember, I have a special guest, Kelly McLean, joining Rhonda and me. We're going to be having a witchy marching orders for October. So you definitely want to join us for that. Also want to make sure you guys know that we have a brand new show starting on 1-2 Radio tomorrow. A Psychic Sisters new neighbor. It is Lisa Gonzalez. The show is called Sounds Like Lisa, and she is coming starting tomorrow. So she will be at 10 a.m. Pacific. So make sure that you come over and say hello and welcome Lisa to 1-2 Radio. Guys, we've done it. We've talked down to the end of the show, like we always do. Thank you, Ade, for producing. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you over at 1-2 Listen for the rest of the day and evening. You're listening to 1-2 Radio, where we are changing. I'm going to try again. You're listening to 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.